Hi everyone, I'm Claire. It's Hidden Figures Week at the National Space Centre, so here's 4 people you should know about. When you think about space jobs, you probably think about astronauts or mission control, but the space sector is full up of loads of different roles you can do. Dee O'Hara was NASA's first space nurse. Now, nurses already do an out-of-this-world job looking after us and saving lives right here on Earth, but space brings out new challenges. She was brought in to look after the Mercury 7, America's first astronauts. It was at a time when the first people were going to space, so no one knew exactly how the human body would react. O'Hara was part of every launch in the Mercury, Gemini and Apollo programs. She then managed the Human Research Facility until her retirement in 1997. The work her and her colleagues did have allowed astronauts to stay healthy in space up to a year, overcoming things like bone loss and muscle deterioration. If you've heard of the Mercury 13, you'll know it's not always possible to reach space, but you can go on to inspire others. These next 2 hidden figures do just that. Robert Lawrence was the first African American to be designated as an astronaut by a national manned spaceflight program. He was selected for the Manned Orbital Laboratory program the day after he graduated from the US Air Force Test Pilot School in 1967. Crews of 2 would orbit the Earth for 30 days in a modified Gemini capsule like the one we have at the National Space Centre. They would photograph Soviet operations during the Cold War. Lawrence had a degree in chemistry, a PhD in physical chemistry, had logged over 2,500 flight hours, and was working on manoeuvres that would later be used on the space shuttle. On the 8th of December 1967, just 6 months after he was assigned to the programme, Robert Lawrence died in a jet crash whilst he was training another pilot. In tribute to him, the space shuttle Atlantis flew his mole mission patch into orbit, and his name was engraved on the astronaut memorial at Kennedy Space Center. A few years before Lawrence, Ed Dwight was taking a different path to space. Growing up, he saw a black Air Force pilot on the cover of a magazine, and he was immediately inspired to become a pilot. He became an Air Force second lieutenant, and whilst training to become a test pilot, took night classes to get his aeronautical engineering degree. President Kennedy wanted to create a diverse space program with mounting pressure from the civil rights movement. Dwight graduated as a test pilot in 1963, then completed Aerospace Research Pilot School, which trained pilots to become astronauts. He was one of 26 men recommended to NASA by the Air Force to become astronauts, but he wasn't selected. He resigned from the Air Force and became a sculptor, and he has hundreds of memorials and sculptures on display across the world, mostly depicting African American history. To me, Hidden Figures isn't just about looking at amazing people in the past, but shining a light on stories that are unfolding right now. Sarah Al-Amiri is the science lead on the United Arab Emirates Hope Mars mission. The Hope Orbiter is the Arab world's first interplanetary spacecraft. It will produce the first global map of the Martian atmosphere, set to arrive in February 2021, and it launched yesterday. When Amiri was 12, she saw a picture of the Andromeda Galaxy, and it made her want to learn everything there was to know about space. Because the United Arab Emirates didn't have a space program, she went on to study computer science and gained a master's degree. She then worked on the UAE's first satellites. She was appointed head of the Emirates Science Council and then became the Minister of State for Advanced Sciences. Those are just some of the people who have made or are still making space exploration what it is today.